Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of North Andrew Reese, and we have returned after doing our preview and our draft coverage. It is now week one of the NFL season. We're all back with our picks. I am joined by two-time defending champ Jose Carlos Gomes, Gil Bay Santos, and second-year man Tony U. Barbosa, Mr. Colts fan, Mr. Miami Hurricanes fan. We start anew. Everything's fresh. I think Jose got lucky because I started off bad last year. I would have killed everybody.
Yeah,
So,
Jose got lucky.
you
Yeah,
know, he's got his king
buddy.
shirt on now, but now we're going to see what happens. All right. So let's get our pick started. We're also going to give you, we didn't have time last time. We're at the end of the show, we'll give you our Super Bowl finalist and selections at the end of the show. But let's start with week one. Thursday night, the defending champions start at home looking for a three-peat, taking on their AFC championship rival, the Baltimore Ravens, an absolutely huge game to start off the season. Jose, let's start with you. Baltimore at Kansas City Thursday night to open up the season. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one. I just think Baltimore. I think they have more to prove. I think this is going to be like another like last year when the KC lost to the Lions week one, and then they regrouped. I think they're going to be with the Super Bowl hangover. So I'm going to take Baltimore and the run game.
Yo,
Yeah, I agree with Jose. I'm also gonna go with Baltimore. I think we're all sick of KC, and it's gonna be hard to win three in a row. So I just Baltimore added stuff. I think Baltimore is going for it this year, so we'll see. But I'm gonna say Baltimore wins the game.
Barbosa, you famously in the playoffs last year said you're never going against Kansas City. Are you going to hold to that truth?
I'm taking KC in this game. I don't think they're letting that championship hangover affect them in this game. Plus, Taylor Swift will be in attendance. She'll be in the house cheering her boy Travis Kelce. And I think KC's defense got better this year, so I will still take the Chiefs.
All right, I'm going to give you four reasons why I'm taking the Ravens in this game. One, typically the team that's at home, the first game that has the ceremony ends up losing focus. Patrick Mahomes was screwing around in the preseason, throwing backwards passes and saying Taylor Swift is drawing up plays. Um, Derrick Henry will be a major factor in this game. I believe Kansas City's weakness is their run defense, so watch for Henry to have a big game. And I think this game leans way more to Baltimore than to Kansas City. Kansas City lost last year to Detroit at home, and I expect Baltimore to do the same. In the end, it won't matter for Kansas City, but it will matter for Baltimore that they win this game. So I got the Ravens. Now let's go to Brazil. For some stupid reason, the NFL decided to send Green Bay and Philadelphia there, and the players can't even leave their damn hotels because of the political unrest in Brazil right now. But however, we will have a football game apparently, Gil. And since this is your team, let's start with you. Green Bay versus Philly, no team at home, neutral site. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Packers, of course. Jordan Love ended up having a great late season last year. I think he has a good chance for MVP this year. It's gonna be a shootout game, though. It's gonna be a high scoring game. Don't take nothing from Philly. You know, they have Hurts, Barkley's there, Brown. I just think we might have an extra stop or two than Philly does. And I think that'll be the game changers. I think our defense stops them once or twice more than Philly, but I expect this to go over.
Yeah, this is a high scoring game for sure. Barbosa.
I'm gonna take the Eagles. Um, they always start well. Since Jalen Hurts has taken over as quarterback, they've always had hot starts. So I still say it continues. So I'm gonna take the Eagles.
Jose.
Until the Packers can prove that they can stop the run, I'm going to take the Eagles in this one too. I just think that the Eagles' run game is going to be strong this year, especially with Saquon back there. That's going to open up the passing game. Although the Packers do have a great secondary, that they do have. But I think until the Packers can prove that they can stop the run game, I'm going to take Philly in this one.
Okay, I have the Packers. Until I see the Eagles secondary stop anyone, I'm going against them. Until I know that that slump from last year wasn't real, I will go against them. The Packers offense is way too efficient, especially with their wide receivers and Jordan Love, the way he played last year. It will be a shootout, but the Eagles secondary is worse than the Packers run defense. So I'll take the Packers in a high scoring, close game. I am worried about the Packers kicker a little bit because they released their kicker and now they're looking for a kicker. So that's a little concern. But like, I think the Packers will find a way to win this game. I like how the Packers ended their season. I don't like how the Eagles ended theirs, so I'll take the Packers. So that takes care of Friday's game. Now let's go to Sunday. And we'll start with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who named Russell Wilson a starting quarterback. I still don't know why. And they face an equally inept organization in the Atlanta Falcons, who gave Kirk Cousins $40 million. This might be the worst game I have to pick all week, so I'm not going to start. Let's start with the Kirk Cousins fan, Josie Gomes. Who do you got?
Tough game. Two unproven quarterbacks. But I just think I'm gonna go with Atlanta. I think they have a lot to prove this year. Their defense is really improved, picking up some Judon and picking up Simmons from the Denver and stuff like that. That's going to help them. I think they already had a good defense last year. They were just short of a quarterback. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is going to make a miracle, but I think that's a much improvement from what they had. And they were in a lot of close games. So in saying that, I'm going to take Atlanta.
Barbosa, I think you were a big fan of Atlanta too this year. So who do you got in this game?
Yeah, I agree with Jose. I am going to take the Falcons. Like same thing, like he says, the defense is a good defense. They showed it last year. Just they lost games because of quarterback play, and Kirk Cousins is a lot better than what they had, and they have a pretty good run game. So I will take the Falcons.
Gil, who do you have in this ugly bowl?
That's ugly, all right. I think they're both going to struggle in this season, to be honest with you. Trying to find their identities. You know what? I'm gonna with my gut that just says Steelers, so I'm gonna say the Steelers.
This is like picking between which garbage can you like better. Russell Wilson is like more done than Kirk Cousins is. And as a result, I'll take Atlanta. Josie is right. Atlanta's defense should be much improved because of Judon and Simmons being added to the roster late. Bijan Robinson is better than either running back that Pittsburgh has. And Atlanta has the weapons that Kirk Cousins should be able to get a victory against Pittsburgh. So I'll take Atlanta because I just don't believe in Pittsburgh this year. I think this is going to be the first season that Tomlin finishes under 500. I think they'll be a 7-10 team. Atlanta might be 10-7, but we'll see about that going forward. But I'll take Atlanta to start the year, at least in this game. Now let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, who let go of Kirk Cousins last year to draft J.J. McCarthy and sign Sam Darnold out of San Francisco's bench. They go to the G-men to take on Daniel Jones, who's throwing picks in the preseason and might have only one good player on their entire roster named Malik Neighbors. This is even a worse ugly bowl, Gil, than the game we just talked about. So who do you got in this one?
Well, I think they're both horrible. I'm just going to say Minnesota, as much as I don't like saying it, but I'm going to say Minnesota.
Minnesota for Gill. This is such a bad game. It's one of those games that I hate to pick, but I have to. Barbosa, who do you got in this ugly game?
Minnesota,
Minnesota.
just because I think they're a better team. The Giants, the Giants are going to be terrible. So,
Jose, who do you got?
I'm gonna take the Giants just because they're playing at home. We've been to New York. The guys, the D2, shout out to the D2 tailgate party over there. And so I'm gonna take the Giants just based on they have a good defense. The defense is not bad. Um, I don't know. I'm not gonna trust Sam Darnold. I don't know how good he is. Yeah, he has Justin Jefferson, but can Justin Jefferson do everything by himself?
Nope.
Addison's probably he's gonna be gone for the rest of like he's suspended for like the first 5 games or whatever it is. So that's a big loss for them. They do have Aaron Jones, but I think he's very injury prone too. Last year he was in the injury like I think he only played like 6 games the whole season last year. Minnesota, they lost a lot of good defensive players in the offseason. So
No
I'm gonna take the
Hawkinson either.
Giants. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Giants. I think the Giants they're not the Daniel Jones not the greatest thing, but if he can not turn over the ball and keep the ball safe, I think they have a chance of winning this game. So I'll take the Giants.
I'm going to make my pick, and then I'm going to ask Barbosa a question. The last time I saw Daniel Jones play a good game was against the Vikings, so I'll take the Giants. They beat the Vikings in a playoff game featuring Kirk Cousins. So for that reason, I will take the Giants. Barbosa, how long before we see Tommy DeVito this year?
third game.
Third game. He's still there. Tommy DeVito's still there, Barbosa. Might be
Third
calling me
game.
Tommy Barbosa again this year. We'll see. Yeah, I got the Giants just because it's the last time I saw Daniel Jones play a good game. That's it. That's the only reason. There's no other reason. Both teams are garbage. Giants are at home. Maybe they won't get blown out 40-0 like they did last year by Dallas at home. Now we go to a game that I expect to be very high scoring. The Jacksonville Jaguars are at Miami to take on the Dolphins. Guys, take the over in this game. There's no defense on either side. I will take the Dolphins because they're at home. I expect a 38-35 shootout with a lot of points for Tyreek Hill. Jose, who do you got?
Yeah, I got Miami as well. I think they'll all outscore Jacksonville. They still have the Dolphins don't. They still have good defensive players. They still have Jalen Ramsey.
Their
So
defense
it's
is just
not
not
like
good though. Their defense hasn't been good for a long time though, Jose.
yeah, but they still got guys that can cause trouble in the defense event. But their offense is just gonna put up crazy points. So I think they're gonna outscore the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Gil?
I'm taking it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miami. Miami at home. They should win. Lawrence just keeps proving my point. Horrible. So Dolphins should win this one, and I'd probably by double digits too.
Yeah, Nick Wright might be the only person who values or loves Trevor Lawrence other than the Jacksonville Jaguars organization themselves. Nick Khan is a very nice man to pay that man that much money. Barbosa, who do you got?
Dolphins. Trevor Lawrence will throw 1 or 2 picks, and that's all it's going to be because he's going to throw a couple picks. That's where the game is going to be in the turnover battle. So that's why I say the Dolphins will win this game.
All right, I'm not going to waste too much time on this game. Shout out to Lino Da Silva. I really, really feel bad for you this year because you're in the post-Tom Brady era, and you're starting Jacoby Brissett with not much else on your roster. Maybe Stevenson, Kendrick Bourne, ex-49er, but Hunter Henry, you got a kicker maybe, but that's it. You got not much in New England, and they're going to play Cincinnati, who may or may not be with without Jamar Chase to start the season, but even without Jamar Chase, I got the Bengals. Jose, New England might be the worst team in the league this year, but can they pull a surprise here?
No, not a chance. Not with Jacoby Brissett and not with that team. Although they'll have a couple of good games here and there, like they always do. They always end up like the first week games. They always end up playing tough games. Even last year when they lost, I believe to who did they lose to week one? Was it I know they beat the Eagles last year, or they lost to the Eagles in week one.
I think they lost to the
No,
Eagles, but it was like a 7 point game.
Yeah. So and it
Yeah.
was a close game. They kept it close, right? So even with the shitty team, but since he should win this game, even without Chase or with Chase, they'll sign him, man. You know how it is. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with these contracts. These guys want to get paid, and they wait out the last week, and they'll sign him and get him ready to go. So no worries.
Yep.
It's not even a question. Cincinnati. I don't have to explain myself.
No. Barbosa.
Cincy.
Yeah, this is an important
Burrow,
season.
Joe Burrow return tour. That starts. You're gonna see.
This is
You
a
won't be
very
able to
important
stop 'em.
season for the Bengals. They let go of Joe Mixon. They have to pay some guys, and a lot of these guys are going to have to prove it for that
Well,
cheap
they
owner
gotta
to pay
pay
them.
Chase, and they still gotta. And I think also T. Higgins' contract is coming up. So
Yeah, I don't think they're going to sign T. Higgins, but like they have a lot of guys coming up
I
for
don't think
contracts.
so
So Mike Brown's going to have to put up or shut up. As well as some of the players. So this is a big year for Cincy. I think they start off with a win. I'm not going to waste too much time on this game either because I don't believe in Arizona, but I will ask Barbosa first because he seems to be a fan of them making the playoffs this year, possibly. Arizona goes to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Yes, the Bills lost a lot of players, but Arizona's defense is one of the worst in the league last year. I don't think they'll outscore the Bills, so I got the Bills. Barbosa, you smell an upset here.
I actually do. I smell an upset. I like Arizona. I with Kyler Murray back, and I'm really high on Marvin Harrison Jr. So I expect and the Bills, their defense. I don't know. I don't know. They lost way too many players on defense. It's a wait and see. But that's why I'm going to take Arizona this week. I just like Marvin Harrison.
Gil, what do you think?
You know, surprisingly, I agree with Tony. I expect an upset here. Just too many weapons lost for Allen. You know, Arizona is on the rise. They're rebuilding. They're gonna be a fun team to watch. And I just think the Bills are on the downfall. So I think Arizona might shock them there.
Jose?
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo. It's going to be a close game. But I don't see Arizona's defense stopping Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to run the ball a lot this year. I think James Cook's going to have a good rushing season this year. And people talk about how Allen has no weapons and stuff like that. But hey, these kids got to make their names, especially Keon Coleman. He's been the number one target for him in practices and stuff like that. So now he's got to show himself when it matters the most, and let's see if he lives up to the hype. But they still got Dalton Kincaid. They got Shakir. They got still weapons. Not big name players, but hey, listen, if they needed a wide receiver or something, they would have got it in free agency, or they could have signed somebody or traded for somebody. So I don't see them worried. Even on defense too, the guys that they lost are guys coming off big injuries. So like the Tre'Davious White, he had torn an Achilles ACL the previous year before. So it's not like they're losing big players too. Sean McDermott is a good coach, and if he needed players, he believes in his backups, and we'll see. I think they have a good team. I think they'll be fine. So I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, I expect Keon Coleman to have a big year for them along with Dalton Kincaid. And I think they're going to run the ball a lot more than they have in the past. And that led to success last year, and there's no reason it won't lead to success this year. So let's go on to the next game. One of my favorite games of the week, the Houston Texans, who is one of my favorite teams this year heading into this season, go to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, Barbosa. I got news for you, Barbosa. You got L1 coming up. Texans win it in Indy. I'm going to say by at least 10, and it's a high-scoring game. Barbosa, does Richardson last more than a game this year?
You guys make your picks. I'll go
Oh, he
second
doesn't
for now.
know. He doesn't know. Hey, okay. Jose, what do you got?
Well, this isn't even a question. Richardson's getting injured the second play. Will Anderson will injure him,
Yeah, here we go. Okay.
and
Relax.
there goes the Colts. They're shit. This is one of their many losses this year. Next,
Jose, Gil, what do you got?
Yeah, Jose is right. Texans is going to win this one. Too much firepower. Colts can't keep up.
Barbosa, at least you're starting the year with Jonathan Taylor. Barbosa doesn't even want to take. Look at his face. He knows he does not want to take the Colts. He knows they're going to lose, but he wants to take the Colts anyway. Look.
I am gonna take the Houston Texans in
Yeah,
this
he
game.
can't. He knows he has to
I'm
take
not
them.
stupid. Okay, I know the Colts are at home, but I think it's gonna be a closer game than people are gonna think are gonna believe. I think the Colts still keep it close, but they will lose the game.
Okay, so we're all on
I say by
Houston
6
there.
points.
Yeah, it'll be like 7 then 10 or something at the end. But we'll see what happens there. Now we go to the Titans, who was a surprise pick for a couple of people on here to maybe sneak in and cause trouble in the South. They go to Chicago to take on the upstart Bears with Caleb and their newfound defense and offense. This is a big game for the Bears, I think. I think they want to start off with a win, especially against the Titans team that looks to be rebuilding. So I'll take the Bears in this one, but I think we'll have some different opinions on this one. Gil, who do you got?
I see the Titans winning this game. I just see them winning the game. I think Williams is going to throw picks, and he's going to go back to the drawing board. And I think Tennessee pulled this one off based off the running game.
So Tony Pollard has a big day. Jose.
the Bears, big. I think they beat them double digits.
Oh, you're
Especially
higher
with
than
that.
Tennessee, and you're gonna take the Bears by two touchdowns?
Not
By a
touch them, by double digits.
I
Yeah, yeah.
actually think the Bears are going to win this by 10 or more as well.
Buddy,
Barbosa?
you guys underestimating the Bears defense. Their Bears defense is solid. They were in the top three defenses last year in the second half of the season.
I believe in the second half they had the best defense in the second half.
Exactly.
I
So
Green
there you
Bay-
go. And
Green
Tennessee
Bay
Titans
and yeah,
with the
Green Bay
second year
and-
quarterback with no DeAndre Hopkins is going to be out for the beginning of the week. I'm telling you that, and especially the Bears' run defense is like was in the top 5 last year.
Yeah.
Check it. I don't think Tennessee is going to do anything much against the Chicago this week. So I'm taking Chicago.
Barbosa, just for the record, Green Bay was third in defense in the second half of last season, even though people say their defense is garbage. Barbosa, what do you got?
The Bears. I also like the Bears this week. I think they'll be a good team. But I don't know. I'm not high on Tennessee. That's all I'm saying. I don't see much on Tennessee.
Yeah,
You'll see them when they play your stupid Colts and throw them a beating.
All right, no problem. I'll wait for your pick. I want to see.
Don't worry. You already got my pick
Yeah.
in advance.
Okay.
All right.
If they're 0-2 or 0-3, then we'll see.
Even if they're 0-5, I'll still take Tennessee over your Colts any day.
No problem.
All right, let's get to a couple of ugly. Well, we got a few ugly bulls here. Carolina, who won one game last season, goes to New Orleans to take on the Saints. I don't think either of these teams are going to be good this year. they're both the teams. One's rebuilding and one's in transition because of cap hell. But I think that New Orleans will find a way to win this game, so I'll take the Saints. Jose.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how good this Carolina team is. Like last year, they had some good games down the stretch. They added Deontay Johnson to the offense, so that's another weapon for Johnson for Young, Bryce Young. I don't know if but just in saying that, I'm just gonna take New Orleans. I think they have a better defense playing at home. Um, Carter is healthier now. He's got Kamara. He's got Olave. So I'm gonna take the Saints at home, but it's gonna be a close game, and I won't be surprised if Carolina pulls up the upset either.
Gil.
Yeah, I think the Saints win. Carolina was just bad. They still have to find themselves. I think the Saints win at home.
Barbosa.
Here's my second upset of the week. Carolina. I am taking Carolina because the only reason why I'm taking Carolina is because New Orleans. I hate New Orleans because I picked them to win the division last year and they let me down. I thought they were a good team. Garbage. That's why I'm taking Carolina. And I think Carolina will improve this year. I think Carolina will. Well, a lot of people underestimate Carolina this year, so I think they improved, and I'll take Carolina.
Well, they got Brooks. Bryce Young can't be much worse than he was last year, hopefully. They added Johnson. They have Thielen. Maybe they can get some improvement from their defense, although they lost Burns in the offseason. So, yeah, it's going to be another long season, but we'll see if they can surprise some teams. Now, before we get to the 4 o'clock games, we're just going to take a little break because we have to switch over to our new channel. And then we'll come back and pick our 4 o'clock games and give you our Super Bowl picks. So stay tuned, and guys, hang on the line. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Reese Report. We took a little bit of a short break, and we're going to get into our 4 o'clock games now and give you our selections there. Barbosa, your camera is off. Okay, now we're back up. We're back on. Let's start with the LA Chargers with Jim Harbaugh as new coach, taking on the Raiders at home. Chargers in transition, released a lot of players trying to get out of cap hell. The Raiders are starting over with a player coach. Had a nice end to last season. Tricky game here since Gil hates both these teams. Will we have a Raiders win or a San Diego City Chargers win, Gil?
I say LA Chargers win. They have Herbert. I don't know. I just don't like Las Vegas's structure of quarterback. I think they could have picked someone better. Devontae Adams is going to demand a trade soon. I don't see nothing happening in Vegas, so I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Yeah. Does Gardner Minshew move you, Barbosa, in this game?
No,
Minshew magic? No? Okay.
no. I trust Jim Harbaugh in this game. I trust Justin Herbert in this game, and like Gil says, the Raiders are. I don't know what they're doing. They just can't seem to get their quarterbacking situation correct. So I'm going to take the Chargers.
I was absolutely stunned that they did not move up in the draft and took Brock Bowers. I don't know what they're doing either. They confuse me as so much as the Falcons. Jose, who do you got?
I'm gonna take Vegas just because they're playing at home, and last year they played well at home.
It's in
Even with
LA. It's in the Chargers.
It's in LA.
It's in LA.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm gonna take the Chargers then because
Chargers.
I thought it was the Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, very simple. This is not much to talk about in this game. I believe Jim Harbaugh will turn the Chargers around eventually. Not this season because they got to get out of cap hell, but they will show an improvement in the run game. Herbert will not be getting hit as much because of the way Harbaugh runs his offense, and I think the Chargers will win this game. but it will be a tough first season for them until Harbaugh gets his team right. But I think the Chargers will win this game. I also think this is a massive revenge game because last year the Raiders ran up the score on the Chargers. I think they beat them like 62-3 or something like that, which led to the firing of Brandon Staley. So this might actually be a game I bet because I think Harbaugh is going to have every single player remembering that game. And I expect the Chargers to come out firing in this game to beat up the Raiders. So I like the Chargers a lot this week. Now let's go to the Denver Broncos. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this game as they play they go to Seattle to take on the Seabags. Bo Nix, who Barbosa and Gill are big fans of, gets his first game at Seattle, taking on Geno Smith, also another favorite of Gill's because he likes his name. Gill, you're the big Knicks fan. Does he get his first win in Seattle?
No, he's gonna just fall short. He's gonna have a good game. He's gonna impress everybody, but he's gonna fall short. And then I think he takes it from there.
Barbosa?
I got the Broncos. I think Sean Payton now has the guy that he wanted all along, the type of quarterback he wanted. They still got weapons on the offense, and they're a good defensive team. Seattle, they're in a bit of a transition. I don't know what they are. So I'm gonna take the Broncos.
Jose.
Tough game playing your first game on the road in Seattle. It's going to be loud and it's tough for rookie quarterbacks to play in that atmosphere. And saying that I'm taking Seattle, I just think Seattle's defense is very improved this year. They got the offense. They're going to be a good throwing team this year. They ended up getting the offensive coordinator from the Washington Huskies. He throws 60% of the plays are all passing. So this year, DK Metcalf and Njokuba Smith is going to have a good year. And I'm going to take Seattle.
And you're trusting Geno Smith to be the quarterback for that?
Well, he made the playoffs last year, didn't he?
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just asking you.
Yeah,
yeah. You know, you rather take Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback on the road in Seattle again, rather than the home team quarterback, Geno Smith.
Yeah,
Barbosa, no wonder you finished last in the pick show last year. You and your
I don't know what you're talking about, but I finished second, my guy.
You finished second. Whatever.
Yes, I did finish second.
Okay, second last, anyways. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, I know second last.
Barbosa, you finished last year. I got news for you. You did finish last. You had a really rough end to the year. I actually finished second. Gill was third. That's actually what happened last year. I actually went back and looked at it. But you did have a great start. You just had a bad finish. I'm going to take Seattle for exactly what Jose said. He took the words out of my mouth. Everything he said. That's why I like Seattle. I think Bo Nix will be a good quarterback at some point, but I think it's going to take time. So I'll take Seattle to win this one. A little bit more experience, good run game, good defense, especially in Seattle. And their wide receiver corps is going to have a good year with that new offensive corner. I agree with Jose completely. Now let's get to a really, really tough game that bothers me to pick. There's three or four of them coming up here. The Washington Commanders, with Jalen Daniels starting, go to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. I took Tampa Bay to win the division. This is a game they have to have if they're going to win the division. I got the Bucs. Barbosa.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucs. They're at home. For that reason, and they won the division last year. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucs.
And Washington's defense is terrible. Let's be fair. It's a horrible defense. Baker Mayfield should have a field day against them. Gil, what do you got?
I'm going with the Bucs. I'm not going with Biden's team. I just think the Bucs are at home, and they're going to score some touchdowns for the pirate ship to shoot out those footballs to the fans. And Washington still figure out what name they're going to call themselves. Never mind. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
Jose, do you see any improvement Dan Quinn gives to Washington's defense, or are they still garbage?
They're going to improve. They're not going to do amazing things this year. They're going to improve. They still probably need a couple of better players out defensively to be a good squad. I think offensively, like I told you guys, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be my rookie. Was my rookie of the year. I think he's going to have a great year, running and throwing. I just think this game. I think away in Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay's got more weapons and they're better defense. So I'm gonna take Tampa Bay on the at home. So
Tough place to start for rookies this week. We got three rookies on the road. Caleb's the only one starting at home, so we'll see what happens there. Now let's go to another tough game. The Dallas Cowboys, who are the most annoying and horrific team to predict in the NFL, goes to Cleveland to take on the Browns, who have an equally inept quarterback who is unpredictable as any quarterback in the league. The Browns defense is excellent, especially at home. Dallas's defense is great as well, but not as good on the road. Really tough game to pick here. I ain't picking first. Barbosa, what do you got?
I'm gonna take the Brownies just because of what you said. They're at home. Dallas, if it was at home, I might have picked Dallas, but they're on the road. Cleveland's defense is, I believe they are better than the Cowboys defense, and I have a feeling Deshaun Watson's gonna have a bounce back year. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be like great Deshaun Watson, but I'm feeling he's gonna have a good year.
Just be average. He's been so bad, like his shoulders all messed up. Like just be average, and they might be a decent team. I mean, Joe Flacco went 4-1 with them last year, just throwing the ball up in the air to Cook or to Hooper. So we'll see.
Exactly.
Gil.
Tough one. I like Cleveland's defense. Dallas has a good defense as well, though. This might be a weird game, but Dallas usually plays bad in open fields at 4 o'clock. They're usually a good dome team, indoor, and it's the AFC. Outdoor, they always choke at 4 o'clock. They always play horrible in the open air. So I'm gonna go for Cleveland.
Jose.
I'm gonna take Cleveland as well. Like you guys mentioned already, I think Dallas is not a good road team. They struggle on the road. And Cleveland is just, their defense is, if not the best in the NFL, it's probably second best to the Niners. Last year they proved that they could win with Joe Flacco. Now, if even with Deshaun Watson, if he's just 50% of what he was last year, I think they'll still win games. And the run game is still there. So I'm going to take Cleveland as well.
Is Chubb starting week 1?
No, Chubb's out the first 4 weeks of the season. It'll be Ford and had Chubb been in this game, I probably would easily take the Browns. I had a really tough time with this game. I'm taking this based on quarterback play in the regular season. Watson is terrible and has been injured most of his time in Cleveland. Dak Prescott, despite his playoff struggles, a good regular season quarterback, could have been the MVP last year, is playing for a contract, and this is the kind of game that he has to win if he wants to get paid. So I'll take Dallas for that reason and that reason only. He's got to beat this defense and show that he can beat teams that aren't tomato cans, as Chris Bouchard would say. Got to beat a good team on the road. So I'll take Dallas for that reason. And then we'll go from there to see where this team goes. Now we go to the Sunday nighter. A very tough game as the LA Rams go to Detroit to take on the Lions. A lot of people liking Detroit this year to go far, possibly to the Super Bowl. A lot of people think Rams are a sleeper pick to make the playoffs and make some noise. Detroit is absolutely loaded on both sides of the field. They improved their defense this year, knowing that their defense was a weakness. They're loaded at wide receiver, at tight end, as long as Goff doesn't make mistakes. And because they play 14 of their 15 games inside this year, that's unlikely. So I'm expecting a huge year from him. I got the Lions here, and I think they're gonna have a big season. The fact that they play in domes 14 of their 17 games makes me think they can even get the 1 seed. But I think they win this game over the Rams. I don't like the Rams defense. Their offense should be fine, but their defense is average since their main
Donald.
defensive player left, Donald. So I like Detroit for that reason. Jose.
You hit it on the thing. Until I see the Rams play without Aaron Donald, the defense, I don't think he's a big loss. Detroit is loaded offensively, like you said, and defensively they improved a lot. And yeah, like you said, I won't be surprised if they get the number 1 seed this year in the NFC. But they should win this game. I think even last year when they played each other in the playoffs, it was a great game. It came down to the wire and stuff like that too. So, but I think it's going to be a close game. I see the Rams keeping it offensively. They're loaded too. They can score with anybody. But I see Detroit pulling this one out.
Yeah, I expect a high scoring game here too, guys. So if you're fans of overs, we've got a few of them here this week. Gil.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Lions should win. Rams are going to be, one of those 9-8 teams. The Lions are going to be a push for first seed. They're going to make a good run. They'll be a very good team. Yes, they do play all those indoor games, which is in their favor. So I'm going to take the Lions.
Barbosa.
I'm going to take the Lions, and it's not even close. Not even a close game. Everybody's too high on the Rams, but I don't know how with no defense. Yeah, offensively, yeah, they'll be able to put up points, but are they going to be able to stop anybody? That's the question.
And we know Stafford's going to make a mistake too. We know he's going to throw a pick somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. And especially against that defense, I see big things from that defense this year. I wouldn't be surprised if what's his face, number 94 there,
Hutchinson.
Yeah, if he's up for Defensive Player of the Year this year, I wouldn't be surprised. So, and that offense, they're just talent all over the field. They just have talent all over the field.
And they didn't even use Gibbs last year like full strength. Yeah. They used him like 50% and played Montgomery.
Because he was hurt. Yeah.
If they unlock Gibbs, it could be even more dangerous.
And like you guys said, they play 15 out of the 17 games or 14 out of the 17 games?
14 out of 17 in a dome, which is a big advantage for them.
Which of course it serves them. It serves them well. So and remember, I picked them to have the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's between them and San Francisco now. But knowing that schedule the way it came out, it's changed. It's too late to change it now. But I think it's between Detroit and San Fran for the 1 seed. Gil, did you make your pick yet? You did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all got Detroit, and finally on Monday night, the finally together, all the contracts and BS taken care of, 49ers. With Trent Williams, finally the last piece of the puzzle back with the 49ers. My only question now is the shape these guys are in, because they haven't been doing anything while they're sitting on the sidelines. 36-year-old man just chilling. But as long as everyone's back, I'm happy. We saw Christian McCaffrey return to practice this week. So the Jets, who have old man Rodgers leading them, hasn't played in a couple of years, back from his Achilles, going to San Francisco in what might be one of the hardest first games for a guy returning from an injury ever. Goes to the 49ers, take them on in San Francisco. I hope it's raining and messy for him as well. The 49ers win this game and show the Jets what a real team is, what a Super Bowl team is, and not some pretender that has an old quarterback. So I got the 49ers winning this pretty easy. Jose.
It's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be closer than you think. I think the Ayuk being out and McCaffrey, it's gonna hurt the Niners offense. The Jets do have a solid defense. And Aaron Rodgers is gonna be Aaron Rodgers. If he stays healthy, he's gonna do his thing. He's always been a Niner killer
against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, against the 49ers defense. I don't think the 49ers
defense kill Rodgers. Didn't we always kill
What's that?
Rodgers? Didn't we always
What's
kill
that?
Rodgers? San Francisco.
In the regular season? No, not in the
Oh, in
regular
the
season.
playoffs. In the
Check the
playoffs. In the
in the
playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah, the regular season, the Packers beat us a couple of times in San Francisco, but I'm only taking San Francisco based on this. Week one, Aaron Rodgers struggles mightily against anybody he plays week one. He doesn't take any snaps during the preseason. He doesn't take anything. He just practices and stuff like that. In this past years, when he was in Green Bay and everything, he always struggled week one.
This
And
is
you
true.
can go back,
Yeah.
you can go back and check it. In saying that, I'm gonna take San Francisco in a close game. It's not gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be a close, tight defensive game. And I say San Francisco just beats them based on the running game. I don't think the passing game is going to be good the first couple of weeks until Ayuk gets into shape. But I'm going to take San Francisco on this one.
All good points. Gil.
Well, I visioned it like this. San Fran's up 14-7. Rodgers goes down the field, scores a touchdown, and then the kicker misses the extra point and they lose. Then Rodgers can be pissed all week, and the Niners win because of a missed kick. So that's what I feel is going to happen.
You know, I feel
49ers,
like... Go ahead, Gil.
the 49ers always do that to him, always find a way to win. They've always done it. I've watched it, seen it, lived it, and why would it stop now?
It's funny, you know, between Greg Zuerlein and Moody, I feel like Moody's more likely to miss a kick, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Barbosa.
If you guys didn't sign Trent Williams, I might have gone to the Jets
I might have gone to
Because-
Jets if we didn't sign Trent Williams.
because I don't think they would have anybody to really stop that defense. But since they did sign Trent Williams, I will take the Niners. I just think for Brock Purdy, that is his shield, if you will. That is the guy. Because without him, I don't know if he turns into something, or I don't know what happens to that guy when Trent Williams is not there. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Niners, and obviously I haven't winning the division, so I'm going to take the Niners in this game.
Okay, so those are our week one picks. We'll see how those all go. Week one's always tough, as is week two, because these teams don't play anybody in the preseason, so you don't get to look at anybody. A lot of guys are holding out. You don't know how any of these teams are going to play. So week one's always tough, as is week two for the most part, until these teams actually play their preseason, which is week one and week two. Let's get some early Super Bowl picks. I'll start. My Super Bowl is the Houston Texans taking on the 49ers, with the 49ers winning it. The 49ers will never have a roster this good going forward. Next year, they will lose multiple players, Tre'Davious Ward, Halafunga, Greenlaw, all unlikely to be 49ers next year, especially after Ayuk's contract. There's going to be some other guys that might get released as well because they got to pay Purdy. This will be the last time the 49ers are the Avengers. And so if they don't win it this year, they probably never will. So I'll take them to beat the upstart Houston Texans in the Super Bowl. Jose, who do you got?
I got the Niners representing the NFC. Like you said, it's a go home year. If it's a bust, it's a win or bust year for them. They gotta win it. I don't think they'll lose a couple of good players, but I don't think they're gonna be a big overhaul. The way they structured Ayuk's contract is like a short up term right now and then heavy down the back years. So they saved up like 17 million in cap space to sign Brock Purdy and stuff like that. So it's not even worried about that. But in the AFC, I'm going with Cincinnati. I think if any team is to beat KC, I think it's Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got their number. And if they can stay healthy, this is all if they can stay healthy with
Sure.
Joe Burrow and everybody else. So I'm gonna take Cincy and the Niners finally win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And we party wherever the Super Bowl
That's right.
party's at this year.
so the problem with the 49ers, just so people know, is there are 7 players on the 49ers that will make $24 million or more next season. And as a result, by default, you're going to lose guys. They're not all going to restructure. So that's the problem with and they got to pay Purdy. So that's the problem with keeping the guys that I mentioned. Gil, who is your Super Bowl and who wins?
I think NFC. I think Green Bay is gonna make it this year. I think this time it'll go the opposite. I think we knock out San Fran, run it
And
down their
Detroit?
throats,
And Detroit?
Detroit, yeah. And I think Detroit's gonna get upset by somebody.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they might even get the first round bye, and then they're gonna run into like maybe something like Dallas or maybe San Fran, and they'll take care of them. AFC, I'm gonna say
Are you going to be bold again and pick Baltimore?
I'm gonna pick Baltimore. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna pick Baltimore. I think they got the pieces they needed. And then unfortunately for my kids, they're still growing up, so not yet. And I take Baltimore to win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Baltimore beats Green Bay in the Super Bowl. That's interesting. Okay. Until Lamar Jackson proves he can play in the playoffs, I'm not taking Baltimore to win any games. Barbosa, who do you got in the Super Bowl and who's winning it?
AFC, until somebody does beat them in the playoffs, besides Tom Brady, I will take KC.
It's a good point. Only Tom Brady and Joe Burrow have beaten Mahomes in the playoffs
Yeah.
in this history. Yeah.
In the NFC, sorry guys, but I the Lions have, I think they have the best all around team
Nothing wrong with that pick, Joe.
in football.
Barbosa. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Lions and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Oh, wow.
Can you imagine if the
I-
Lions win the Super Bowl? Oh my God.
I want to say the Lions, but I still say the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl.
They're going to win 3 in a row. Wow.
They'll
That's-
be
that's,
the only they'll be the first team since the Steelers. Is this? No,
No
Niners,
team has
right?
won 3 in a row. No team's won 3 in a row. No team in history has won 3 straight
I
Super
thought
Bowls.
Pittsburgh might have won 4 in a row.
No. No team has won 3 straight. So that's why it's such a big thing.
This
Yeah.
this is gonna be a history making year for them then.
I just want to go back to what Barbosa just said. The craziest stat ever is like Mahomes has only lost to 3 people, like 2 quarterbacks his whole career in the playoffs, Brady and Joe Burrow. It's insane. Like it's like crazy. But that's
Still, I see otherwise. I will take Mahomes.
yeah. I think at some point Kansas City's luck has to run out. I think
And
the
they
AFC.
got better. And they got better receivers than last year.
Yeah, but Hollywood Brown's already hurt.
Yeah, I know, but still, I don't think they released Tooney. They're not going to be no more drop balls.
And they lost Snead. Snead went to Tennessee, so their defense got a little bit
And
weaker
they're
too.
bringing back Schuster too. They're bringing back Schuster.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know about
Yeah,
Schuster.
they're bringing
Okay.
back Schuster.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see
Yeah.
how he fits in, but
Well,
and I think their defense is going to improve a lot this year. So better than last year.
yeah. Early picks are exactly that. Early picks. They could easily change later on in the year. So that's our Super Bowl picks. Every year there's a surprise team, and we'll leave with that. Can you guys give me a team that nobody expects to be good this year that will be good? Because last year it was Houston. Who's it going to be this year? Jose. Arizona for you. I know Barbosa, you like Arizona. Jose?
I say the Bears.
Yeah, I mean the Bears are a nice pick. Gil, surprise team?
I agree with Tony. It's gonna be Arizona and Denver.
Arizona, Denver. I like the Bears, but I'll say the Colts make the playoffs this year, and I don't think most people don't have them making the playoffs. So I'll say the Colts get the 7th seed because Anthony Richardson has a healthy season. If he's not healthy, then
You're hoping because of your fantasy. That's the only reason why you're picking the Colts and Anthony Richards because your fantasy.
yeah, yeah, that's it. I just think if he's healthy, they've got a shot to make the playoffs if he's healthy. A lot of people are talking about Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, all these other rookies. He's in his second year. He was impactful last year. And if he can stay healthy, I think he's a dangerous quarterback. That teams are going to be. They don't have any tape on him yet because he's barely played, so he'll be like a rookie this season. So, I just think that division is so weak. I just Jacksonville, Tennessee. You know, someone's got to make it from there, and the other, there's other weak teams like the Bills lost a lot of guys. Miami is what they are. The West is weak. So that 7th seed is wide open. I mean, anyone can finish 7th. And I think the Bears will be the 7th seed in the NFC. So that's those are the two shockers, I guess. So that is our show for this week. We will be back every single week. I'm hoping that all the guys can make it every week. Tomorrow is a different fantasy draft, so we'll see who I get quarterback tomorrow. That's a little bit different story with the way that's set up. Probably won't draft the same QB. That's a guarantee.
What time is it at again? 8?
9 o'clock. Yo, try not to fall asleep, okay? Same thing with you, Jose. Don't fall asleep. You get an auto draft. All right. So for the Mountain North Andrew Reese, that's Jose Carlos Gomes, Gilbert Santos, and Tony Barbosa. For all of you watching, and for anyone new that I've sent this to, please subscribe and like and give me your comments. I appreciate the comments from our Miami fan on our last video. So keep them coming, and make sure you subscribe and like and watch our stuff because we give some good opinions. We try to make you laugh. Until then, we'll see you on the next Reese Report, and hit my music.